Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. This show was originally created from one of the more than 300 original quotes I had created for the contents of my book. After studying over 40 years of human behavior, I was always curious if the same quote landed on me the same way it landed on other people. Were they just words that kind of laid there on the page, or were there a conversation worth talking about? So what we did, I got a group of my friends. We talked about these quotes. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We toss out an original quote or a quote that somehow landed on us, and based on our interpretation perspectives, we talk about it. So I'm joined today with my co-host, Larnez Kinsey. Oh, dynamic young lady. Curtis Battles, another dynamic young brother. And who's bringing us the quote today is Marquise Adams from New York. And then we have, our super power couples. We have Jessica and Peter Chichester. And then we have, happy birthday to you, Mr. Christopher James and Gilda James. And then we have our person that keeps us connected to the universe. Oh, yeah, that Miss Francine Tesler. And today we have an amazing, amazing show. I can't wait to hear how this quote will land on you. So, Christopher, I mean, not Christopher. I'm going to say Curtis. If you don't mind, Otis is absent. He's been working on a movie. He's been up all night. So the voice of our show is, we got to bring in the next best thing, Curtis Battles, and he's bringing us a quote of the day. You mind for our listeners giving us the quote?
Sure. Our quote for this morning is, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams."
All
And
right,
this is from
Marquise.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
All right, Marquise. Oh, we got to see how this landed on you. How did you come get attached to this quote?
Well, it's interesting because I have a lot of young kids. We have six boys, and I kind of I look at how we may have some influence on their lives and sort of what they see the world as. And it's all in a way, even though there's a lot going on with the world, you still feel very positive, right, about how the world can be, you know, through their eyes. And so I look at it from a state of being very positive and thinking that life can be very beautiful, if we give the right things to the young people who are going to come and take it over. And I watch how it's been shaped, and it's really been shaped by people who were dogged and really believed in them having an impact on the entire world. Really believing in being able to make a large change, even as a single person. So, sort of combining those ideas together where you can have an influence, and I can have an influence right here with, six young men who are going to be out in the world and doing great things. And just really being positive about those things being really beautiful and changing the world for the better.
That's very well put. Multiplied by six, and you to be the seven.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting great things out there in the world into these young men and believing in the beauty of the dream. Now, Jessica Chichester, the beauty of a dream, the quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, and listen to the interpretation of Marquise and his six dynamic superheroes that he's raising. How does this land on you?
Well, it's nice to meet you, Marquise, and good morning, everyone. Um, I connect with what you said, Marquise, in the sense of it just wanting to show our kids the best of life and the beauty of life. But, I'm a fan of contrast, and, we wouldn't know light without dark. We wouldn't know day without night, like all of this, right? And life is this bittersweet symphony. And with it, I think we also have a responsibility to our kids and to the world to, and it's what God calls us to do also, to not just see beauty as something that's outward and beauty that's something that's simple and nice and delicate and graceful, but also like there's beauty in the muck, and there is beauty in ruin, and ruin is the gift of transformation. And sometimes we need a big storm to come in and to swipe up the whole area in order to have fertile soil again so things can grow. So, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, but also those who are not afraid of destroying the land, right? Destroying old paradigms, to destroying what once was, whether it's a cause that we're going toward. Does that make sense? Whether it's a cause that we're going toward, or a dream that we have, I think the disruption of it all, if we can focus on our calling and we can focus on our dreams and the gift that that is ultimately going to bring to the world, then we're going to align ourselves with the most beautiful people like this morning that are going to help elevate us and connect us and sharpen us and help us get there, because we can't get to the castle if we don't swim through the moat. So that's how that quote lands on me this morning.
And that was a beautiful take on that quote, and it connected the dots from the 6 Marvel characters that Marquise is raising to the contrast of what beauty really is. And when I turn this over to Curtis Battles, we'll see what twists beauty and dreams have on that. Curtis, how does this land on you?
Well, good morning, everybody. Glad to be back on the show with Kevin. I think about elements of what both Marquise and Jessica have said, which is there are things that you come up with in the dark of the night that you want to bring into the light of day. And you don't know whether that dream or that idea is something that will be big and beautiful, or it will be just a step along the way and on your path to greater things. But I have come to believe, and obviously being around folks like you with all this positive energy, that the things that vision you have, you need to unlock that vision and create a new experience for people. And I'll just share this one thing that is an idea. So I had a dream last night. I had a group of people that I think were you, that all were bringing a unique perspective to this idea of there's a bigger world out there that we all need to get to. And so I was trying to figure out how to help and us to all do this and work together going forward. So it's that kind of a vision that sometimes pops up and you don't know exactly what it means when it does. But the beauty to me is that we are free and open to be able to receive that if we allow ourselves to be, and then to take it into the real world and figure out how does it help those 6 Marvel characters, or how does it help get through the muck as we search for what the new world may be on the other side. And not worry so much about what has happened in the past, but always be looking forward to what is going to happen in the future. And that is how it lands for me.
Well spoken, and way to tie everything together. It's amazing how these quotes and even our daily quotes that we share within our chats during the course of a week, how the ties that bind. I mean, yesterday, I said this to Larnez, and you talked about dreams. Looking at the group of us that are gathered, my friends, you guys are family. And I said, my gut tells me that something with this group is going to happen. That's magical. That's going to happen. I said this yesterday to Larnez, and then to listen to this conversation, and then to have you also have that dream. We're all connected somehow. We're all energy. All right. And for those that are denying the existence of energy, is denying their own existence to exist within this space that we share, we call life. So, Lonez, all right. I know I say this all the time. I got to go out and get the world ready for you because the world's not ready for you. So, for our listeners, when you listen to this quote, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams by Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm going to tell you what's about to come. It's magical. Go ahead, Larnez.
Grand Rising, everyone. I wrote stuff down, but after hearing Marquise and Jessica and Kurt, now I want to change what I was going to say. So I'm just going to go from the top of my head, right? Marquise, your children, right? You already know you went up on me. So I got 5. I got the starting 5, right? So um, being a woman, right, you can bring life, but you can also speak life, especially to your children. That's your goal. To everyone around you, you're supposed to be speaking life into people, but specifically your children, because the only difference between you and your kids is you arrived here before them. They are more woke at their age. You're supposed to be sharing lenses. It's not, I said what I said because I'm your parent. Let's build. Let's tell me your lens. The circumstances that your children are in are affecting them. And we don't know unless you actually build with them. So I love that you mentioned that. And Jess, I don't believe any negativeness is mulch, right? I feel like there's beauty in every single thing. So I search for the beauty in every single thing. I take my time to look at a dog could have doo-dooed on the floor in 90-degree weather and it's melting on the sidewalk. And I'm gonna look at it like, look at that fly. Why was that fly attracted? Oh, it brings some friends. Gang, gang, gang. We like, I look at everything and I feel like it's a dream, right? I feel like we're all on the same frequency. That's why as you move through and you think about things and you believe them, people start to believe them in you, right? It's like, again, I know I spoke about unspoken dialect. People are looking in your eyes to see how you treat yourself so they know how to treat you. So, with all that being said, don't just dream, believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and believe that the future is yours to create. Because let me tell you, when you do, nobody's going to stop the shine of your light. Nobody's going to let your star be diluted with all the negative light around you. You're going to be able to penetrate even the negative to do positive. And when you do so, your dreams are created. That's how this hit me. I wrote down something totally different, but that's what I was feeling. So there you go.
That's all right. Well, that's what this is all about. You know, every quote lands on a person a different way based on our interpretation and perspective. Sometimes the view that we currently have right now can be altered, changed, or enhanced by looking at the view from someone else's lens. Like I said, we're all energy. If you take a handful of rose petal seeds and you throw it in a parking lot, over time, a rose will find that one crack and it will grow. And that's where the beauty of dreams align themselves with the energy of this world. And so bouncing off of one great person to another, Peter, sitting by energy itself. All right. How does this quote land on you?
Uh, the future belongs to, let me see, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I find that a lot of people are stuck, right? And they're stuck in their present moment and they don't see the future and they've given up on their dreams, right? So there is no future for those people. But for the same aspect, right, in a linear timescape, if I'm projecting negative things to my future, right? If I'm not projecting the beauty of my future and projecting negative things, that's also my future, right? Whatever my manifestation of my ideas and mindset, that's where I'm headed. So with that, simple premise, right? Yeah, the future belongs to you based on your mindset, right? And what your focus is. So with that, it's a great quote, but again, always keep your mindset into a position of beauty, into a position of servitude, into a position of love. And we're all going to be great.
All right. Servitude and love. Gilda, congratulations on celebrating such a wonderful event. Christopher just turned 70. He's 2 years removed from retiring from being a civil servant from our military. So we honor you. Gilda, with this quote, I'm going to ask Kurt one more time for people that are just tuning in to deliver the quote one more time before you give us your interpretation. Mr. CB, do you mind?
Our quote for the day: the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. This is by Eleanor Roosevelt.
I think that quote's beautiful. And just to have me elaborate on it, I just want to say that everyone says did such a good job on it, and I feel that I'm just speechless. I just don't know what to say at this point. But I do love the quote, and that's, I don't have much to say to. I don't have much.
You've had a lot to say. You've been celebrating 70 years of joyous grace with a dream to come true. Not many people can say that they've been blessed to have 70 years of a dream, of living their dream, overcoming adversities. And you're sitting by a man that is living history of what dreams are about. So if I asked your better half how this quote lands on him, the wise and wonderful Christopher James, how does this quote land on you, sir?
First off, good morning, and thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have been around this planet, or this sun rather, 70 years. But this quote, and again, keep it in perspective as my life has shown me, or it goes back to what Marquise was saying about his 6 beautiful children. If you were to stand in front of a dozen children and ask them what they thought would be their future, or what would they like to be when they grow up, is a popular question, you'll probably get something in the neighborhood of about 4 to 5 dozen different explanations or different dreams. And keeping to those dreams, or keeping to those paths, is always difficult. For the past, I'll say 7 years, Gil has got me with this iPhone thing. I missed my flip phone, by the way. That was enough for me. But I got this fancy iPhone, and on the working screen, I've got a picture. I believe it was in 5th grade, 5th grade picture day. I remember that because that was about the same time that Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, which is totally incidental. It just happened to be that year. But anyway, I kept that picture of myself. I would show you, but it probably wouldn't show up on the screen, of my little 11-year-old face. And my little 11-year-old head had a picture of what he wanted to be, of what he wanted to do. And that list was crazy. I wanted to be an Olympic gymnast. I wanted to go to the moon. I wanted to ride submarines. I wanted to be in movies. I forgot some of the other ones. Oh, yeah, I wanted to be a boxer like my dad. But I will say, I I've kept that picture with me of all those dreams that little boy had. And I've been able to keep true to every single one except the moon. We still haven't got to the moon yet. But what I see in that picture is a promise that was made. God, how many years ago is that? Like 60, maybe 59 years ago, of what this little kid wanted to be. Now, you can tell a 8-year-old or 9-year-old, okay, we will see that we get you where you want to be. I'll make this promise to you right now. I'm going to do all I can to get you where you want to be. And then you walk away, or time passes or whatever. And as hard as you wanted those promises to be held, they tend to slip away. My promise was in that phone, was in my face, looking back at me, saying, you promised that you would go here. You promised that you would do this. And like I say, with the exception of the trip to the moon, I'm still working on it. I'm trying to get my grandkids into the space program so they can get me up to the moon as a granddaddy. But anyway, that promise or that image of me, 11 years old, has propelled me to do all those things that I promised I would do. The belief in your dreams, okay, is the gateway to your future. I fully believe that. I fully believe that. And it's maintaining those promises, maintaining those dreams. That's what gets you there. I mean, like, everything else is all sweet and beautiful. Making a promise, holding to that promise, making those dreams come true, that's what it's all about.
You know, it's amazing. That was so well put on how it tied everything together, but it also brought it back to where the origin of dreams really comes from. You know, earlier in this week, there was an article that showed up on social media talking about the positive affirmations were all overblown. And it was such a negative twist. As Jessica put it, sometimes, you know, the positive has to go through the muck itself. But when you talk about the beauty of where a dream comes from, you have to talk about its origin, its birth. It's our children that come into this world that are pure. It is the layers and layers of life experience of those that are paving the way, of those young people that create the muck. But like your flip phone, looking back at that 11-year-old and finding clarity in your dream, you either stay attached to what you desire most, or you detach or attach yourself to what you desire to do more of. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay this quote on Miss Francine Tesla and see what she has to say about this.
So, Christopher, I have to break your chops a little bit. You did find the moon. You have Gilda. So just to clarify on that, duh. Okay, so I wrote something just like Lornez did, and it's completely taken on a new thing. One of the things that, for what I do for my business, is I daydream. It's basically, I think like a child. And I think that this quote, like everyone, we all have the same idea, we all interconnect. I really think it reminds us to be more childlike, because children and animals know no limitations. They don't know the word no, it's impossible. They think everything is possible. They think that they can walk through walls. So I just think that if we acted a little bit more like kids in the way we think, that I think the world would be a better place, to be honest. You know, if you're standing in a dark place, you either, you know, learn how to fly, or you figure out another way to navigate. So children have such a weird and funny and insightful way of looking at things that they give us perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they have all these kids talk about different things and draw pictures of the way that they see the world. And it's amazing, because I used to teach arts and crafts in a camp, and the kids are very innovative. And then somewhere along the lines, the world teaches us, oh, that's not possible. And then we're reprogrammed. So I think that we should re-navigate that, because they've also done studies with neuroscience that most of the population only uses 20% of the brain, if that, and people that are more artistic and intuitive and have healing abilities use more of the brain. So if the brain is a muscle, so if we tap into that, can you imagine the unlimited potential? And just to go back to something, since I'm a child, I always knew I would, be known some way. And I'm an artist originally, and I knew I would be helping people. So I'm continuing that path, and so is everyone here. And we just have to continue doing that. But the thing to do is to do what children did when they were young and knew nothing: daydream and believe. And that's how it lands on me.
Daydream and believe. And the beauty is in the dream. Um, all very, very, very wonderful shares, all gives you something to think about. I say this all the time, is that education is not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make you think. This is a dream come true, to have each and every last one of you part of this weekly conversation, this weekly experience, and then to bring it back to its origin through Marquise's 6 wonderful, young, dynamic men that he is providing. I mean, think about it. Where do you get the excitement of a dream? It's watching your child come into the world. We talk about love. Love is voluntary. Ask anyone that has brought a child into this world. Staying in love is a decision. That's because it takes work. And that's where dreams get a little bit of convoluted and get into the muck and whatever, is because either the intensity or the lack of intensity and commitment to the work. When I think about this quote, that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of a dream, I think about what dreams really are. They either wake us up in the middle of the night, laughing, crying, or yelling and screaming in our sleep. Our dreams are attached to our fears, our joys, our ambivalence. In fact, our dreams are the pathway, or our own AI of sorting out and storing data. But also our dreams are also part of trying to remember or fantasizing about experiences and how we react or how we're not going to react to it. As a writer, I'm a daydreamer all day long. I dream about conversations wanting to have. I dream about conversations I had. I dream about experiences and all the places that we would go. What would life be without dreams? What would life be if we only remained in the muck? Do we stand up and just wash off our clothes? Or do we wish for a shiny little uniform and standing up, being recognized 70 years of service and being by my partner for the rest of our life? You ever dream of having your own show and having some of your closest and most wonderful friends support you and being there? The muck is putting it together. The reality and the beauty of it is seeing it come together. What I say to anyone that's looking at this quote that Eleanor Roosevelt left with us, the beauty in the dream is in the actions of the dreamer. It's what you do to make your dreams come true, is where you find beauty in your dreams. So with that said, I want to thank all of our listeners who tune in every single week. Hopefully you had a little fun with us this weekend. You've shared a little bit. If you like what you've heard, go to our YouTube page at RMK Productions and Network, and you can subscribe and follow. I'm not going to put the pressure on you, say that people that are in our life have a high call to action. I'm going to go ahead, follow us, be a part of the dream. If you'd like to be a guest on this show, we welcome you. Bring positivity into it and share this quote and be on the stage with us. Go to info@rmkproductions.org. Fill the information out. The link to this Zoom is is on our Facebook page. And I just want to thank everyone for coming in, sharing this moment. Next week, we have Mother's Day is coming up. So I'm hoping that we do, with the quote next week, a great tribute to our moms. And any of you guys want to bring your moms on the show and talk and laugh and whatever, we may just go off script a little bit and share some of your childhood scary stories and your dreams or whatever. Let your mom call you out. And Marquise, you can bring all 6 of those kids in here. All right. And your wife, talk about those dreams. But I just want to say how grateful I am and how much I appreciate each and every last one of you, because every Sunday I get a chance to live out my dream. I imagine it's attached to every stage of my life. I eat, I sleep, and I want to do right by all of you guys. And I thank you for keeping my dream alive. And I am surrounded by some of the most beautiful people on the planet: Marnez, Kurt, Francine, Jessica, Peter, Gilda, Naheem, Denise, and Christopher, and the voice. We miss you today, Otis. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this dream. And like I said earlier, Larnez, coming up, my grandfather always said, when you get to a place in your life that you can help someone else, he said it's your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said,
we fade to black.
And we're out, ladies and gentlemen.